A few years ago, there was a movie that came out entitled Dances with Wolves. Who has not seen Dances with Wolves? What a great group. Well, since you've all seen it, we don't have to see it again now. The first time I saw Dances with Wolves, I thought I was the last one on the planet that had not seen it. So in the privacy of my own home, I rented the video to watch it. And I was moved tremendously by a very particular scene in there where Kevin Costner, the soldier, had developed an intimate friendship with the wolf named Two Socks. Man and animal together. Beautiful friendship. And they did a wonderful job filming and putting this together. And the context of the movie was done so beautifully. It was just a masterful production. Not too far into the movie, through a series of events, the life of that wolf is taken. And I was surprised when I saw that. And I was surprised at my response. Because I cried and cried and cried. And what I realize is when we see movies like that and we're touched that deeply, we're touched by what happens on the screen and it goes beyond that, because that movie, as people witness that movie, it touches for them that place of every time that they've ever lost something that they hold dear. And it's all personified in that one event, and that's why it feels the way it feels. Well, the second time I saw it, I went to a theater because I was interested in seeing how other people would respond. And when this point in the movie came around, I was sitting in a vantage point and I could watch other people. And I had the opportunity to see how they responded, and it was amazing. There were some that couldn't watch when the wolf was being shot. And they turned away or they got up and left and never came back. So they never had resolution to that. They were left with that lingering emotion. There were some that were angry. They were outraged. They were yelling at the soldiers who were taking the life. And there were some who sat motionless, absolutely motionless, and just watched. The gift of the blessing. What happens if we bless the soldiers that took the life of that wolf? You've all seen the movie. In your mind, say it. Bless those soldiers. Bless the soldiers who took that life, so that they may know themselves in the taking of that life. Bless the wolf who gave his life, who loved enough to give his life. Bless us in witnessing. Bless us in watching. How does it feel as you say those words? Does it feel awkward to you to say, to bless something? Does it feel awkward to bless something that's hurt? We went through an experience similar to this in a workshop recently. And something interesting happened in this workshop. There was a gentleman that was there who had never done a workshop like this before and came because his wife said he had to. And then she canceled. And he came alone. And I didn't speak to the gentleman for the first 2 days of the workshop. The second day, we went through this process, and we spoke about Dances with Wolves and the taking of the life of that wolf. He went home that night, and he and his wife talked about this experience. Well, they had never had any children, and they had a dog. They'd been with him about 13 years, a German Shepherd, who had become very ill. She'd become cancerous, I believe, and could walk only by crawling on her front paws. And the vet was saying to them, I don't understand why this dog's still alive. What's keeping this dog alive? He shared this story with his wife of Dances with Wolves and the gift of the blessing in the release of what that's all about. And they stayed up late that night and talked about it. And the next morning he came in. As we're beginning the workshop, he said, I'd like to stand up and share a story. And I was amazed. I had no idea what he was going to say, and I said, sure. And he shared this story with us. And he said, I went home and talked to my wife last night about what I'd seen here. We applied it in our lives and what's happening with our pet. We woke up this morning and she had died during the night. And he said, I can't prove this, but I believe what happened was that she was here because we weren't ready to let her go. And as we worked through this together, through the gift of the blessing, there was a freedom that we felt within ourselves. There was a release, and on some level she must have sensed that. And she knew that it was okay. And she left us last night. So you never know how the effect of the blessing will manifest in our lives. And I know that it's powerful and that it's freeing. Our greatest levels of mastery will be found in witnessing what life has offered to us and redefining what those events mean. And the ancients left us the context for that. As we redefine what they mean and we're able to free ourselves, then we move forward with life. This is not about complacency. This is about action from a place of empowered emotion, rather than action from anger or revenge. People have asked me before, they said, well, what if we just don't see any application for this at all, or we just don't see this in our lives at all? And what I say to those people is, what choice do you really have? You will either go through life and find a way to reconcile what life offers you, or you'll go through life seeing life as challenges and tests and dealing with the consequences of that. Those are your choices, essentially. This is our opportunity to reconcile. So in the blessing, what we do is we acknowledge any thoughts, feelings, or emotions to be present. You're incapable of an inappropriate or incorrect thought, feeling, or emotion. What you're feeling is there. If you witness something and you're outraged, then you're outraged. Honor that. Allow that. Say, yes, I'm outraged now. What do I do with it? Our conditioning is to say, oh, I shouldn't be outraged, so I better do something else. Well, it's not really outrage. It's more like and then you'll find other words to rationalize. It's a mental process. Allow whatever it is you're feeling. Go through those 5 equations and find out which one or which combinations of them, and you'll know them when you read them. If you've just witnessed an event in your life, and you're feeling that charge, and you read through those 5, and you get to the one that says, oh, no way, that's the one for you. That's the one. And then I'll invite you to invite that greater healing into your life. And as you come to terms with what this may mean to you, invite the gift of blessing into your life. And have a box of Kleenex ready. The tears are not necessarily sadness. Tears are the way that our bodies respond to moving charge. It's a balance. It's a new balance that we found in our lives. And it happens at times when you least expect it. What I'll invite you to do is to take these gifts, and that's precisely what they are, file them away. Should you find a time when your belief systems do not serve you, then you have the opportunity to invite a new belief system into your life. And I bless you on that day, because it will be a powerful, powerful day, should that come in this lifetime. Compassion is not about complacency. We're not saying go around, bless everything, and then walk away. As you are looking at events that have already transpired, and you're left with the memory, how do you get through the memory? The blessing is the release in the memory. As you're witnessing the events in real time, standing there blessing that event is meaningless. And as you take action, what have you become in that action? That's the key. This is what is offered to us in these texts. Now, they offer this as a way of life. It's not something that you do upon occasion. This is an awareness that you become. You become that neutrality, and I say that very cautiously because clearly we're not asking people to move away from feeling. Just the opposite. We're asking people, providing the opportunity for people to feel in a way possibly they've never felt before, with the clarity of the feeling rather than the distortion of all the things surrounding it. As you become this, we've outgrown the doing. We're asked to become. As you resolve those 5 equations of emotion and logic, if you've truly come to terms with each of those, then something has changed in your body, and you walk that result.